You just paid off your credit card in full, on time, like a completely responsible adult who has their life together. You even did the little thing where you opened the app, watched the balance hit zero, and felt genuinely good about yourself for approximately 4 seconds. Then you get a notification. Your credit score just dropped 25 points. Congratulations. The algorithm just mugged you in broad daylight, and it did not even leave a note. This is not a glitch. This is not identity theft. This is the credit reporting system working exactly as designed. And the design, if we are being honest, is not built around your financial health. It is built around a snapshot, one single photograph of your finances taken at a very specific moment each month. And if you do not know when that camera clicks, you are basically showing up to your own headshot in yesterday's clothes, wondering why the photo looks terrible. Here is the part that should genuinely annoy you. There are 2 dates on your credit card statement. Most people only know one of them. Banks are not exactly rushing to explain the other one, because the other one is the one that actually controls your credit score. Today we are breaking down exactly what those 2 dates are, how the credit bureaus use them, and 2 specific methods, the statement date hack and the AZEO method, that let you control what the bureaus see instead of just hoping for the best. And look, this is not a hack for people trying to rent a studio apartment. If you are 30 or older and a mortgage is anywhere on your radar, whether that is buying, refinancing, or just not wanting to get financially humiliated when rates drop, a 25-point swing in your score is the difference between a 6% rate and a 6.75% rate. On a $400,000 mortgage over 30 years, that gap cost you more than $30,000. So yeah, this matters. Let's get into it. Here is the first thing you need to understand. Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax are not watching your bank account like some kind of financial surveillance state. They are not getting a live feed. They are not refreshing your profile every time you tap your card at a coffee shop. What they get is a report, once a month, a single data point, a photograph, and the entity taking that photograph is your credit card issuer, your bank. Every month, your bank generates a statement. That statement closes on a specific date. Whatever your balance is on that exact date is the number the bank packages up and ships off to the 3 bureaus. That number gets hard-coded into your credit report for that month. That is it. That is the whole mechanism. Now here is where the confusion lives. Most people think the billing cycle works like this. Spend money, due date arrives, pay it off, bureau sees 0. Neat and clean. But that is not the actual timeline at all. The actual timeline looks like this. Your billing cycle opens on, say, the 1st of the month. Over the next 30 days, you are spending normally, groceries, gas, the dinner out that you told yourself was a one-time thing and then repeated every Friday. Your balance climbs. Then on the 30th, the cycle closes and the bank generates your statement. That statement closing date is the exact moment the bank freezes your balance and transmits that number to the bureaus. Your due date does not arrive until roughly 25 days after that statement closes. So your balance gets reported before you even have the chance to pay it. Think about what that means in practice. You have a card with a $5,000 limit. You put $2,000 of furniture on it in a single month. You have the cash sitting in your checking account, ready to go. You wait for the bill to arrive, and the moment it hits your inbox, you pay the full amount. 0 interest, 0 late fees. Textbook responsible behavior. But the statement already closed with $2,000 on it. The bureau already received that number. Your utilization on that card was reported at 40%. And 40% utilization is firmly in the territory where the algorithm starts getting nervous about you. Your score drops. You did nothing wrong. You just did it in the wrong order. The credit bureau is basically that one coworker who writes your performance review based entirely on the one Tuesday they walked by your desk while you were eating lunch and looking slightly disorganized, completely ignoring the other 364 days you were crushing it. The snapshot does not care about your intentions. It does not care that you paid it off. It only cares what the balance looked like when the camera clicked. And here is the part that makes this genuinely fixable. The camera clicks on a predictable schedule, every single month. Same date, you can see it coming, which means you can get ready for it. The statement Closing date is not a mystery. It is sitting right there in your account, buried under the interface designed to show you the due date, because the due date is the one that protects the bank, not you. Now, let's talk about what that snapshot is actually measuring, because the math here is where most people completely underestimate how sensitive this system actually is. Let's talk about the actual math, because this is where people get blindsided. Pull up the AZEO breakdown. Payment history is 35% of your score. That makes sense. Did you pay your bills or not? But the second biggest slice, sitting at a full 30%, is called amounts owed. And that category is almost entirely driven by one thing: your credit utilization ratio. Think about that for a second. Nearly 1/3 of your entire credit score is based on how much of your available credit you are using right now, not over the last year, not on average. Right now, at the moment the snapshot was taken, it is weighted heavier than the length of your credit history, heavier than your mix of account types, heavier than almost everything except payment history. You could have a spotless 10-year track record, never missed a payment, never had a collections account, never even looked at a payday loan. And if you let utilization spike for one single month, that 30% slice of the pie starts crumbling, and it takes your score with it. The math itself is simple. Utilization is just your balance divided by your credit limit. Owe $500 on a $1,000 card, you are at 50%. The scoring models generally treat 30% as the first major cliff. Cross it, and you look like a risk. Cross 50%, and you look like a crisis. Get close to 100%, and your score goes into what I can only describe as a full financial freakout. But here is the nuance that trips people up. This calculation runs two ways simultaneously. The algorithm looks at your overall utilization, every card combined, and it also looks at each individual card in isolation. Both of them matter. And the individual card calculation is where people with otherwise great scores quietly get wrecked. Let's say you have $50,000 in total available credit spread across 5 cards. That is a great denominator. But one of those cards has a $500 limit, and you put a hotel stay on it. You are now at 100% utilization on that card. It does not matter that the other $49,500 of credit is completely untouched. That one maxed out card gets flagged as a sign of distress. The algorithm treats it the same way a lender would treat finding out you borrowed from your neighbor because your checking account was empty. I have seen people with 800+ scores drop into the 740s because they booked a family vacation on a card with a low limit and let the statement close before paying it down. No missed payments, no new accounts, no fraud. Just one utilization spike on one card with a small limit. The score tank is fast, and it feels completely random if you do not understand the underlying math. The AZEO algorithm essentially treats high utilization as a statistical early warning sign for default. Historically, people who max out their cards are more likely to stop paying entirely, so the model reacts immediately and aggressively. It does not wait to see if you pay it off next month. It reacts to the snapshot it has right now. Here's the good news, and this is genuinely the best news in all of personal finance. Utilization has no memory in FICO 8, which is still the model most lenders use today. A missed payment haunts you for 7 years, but utilization resets every single month the moment a new balance gets reported. 90% utilization in January, 5% in February. The score bounces back like January never happened. That means this is the fastest lever you can pull in personal finance, bar none. And the way you pull it is by controlling the snapshot. So the system is taking a monthly snapshot. The snapshot is sensitive, and it resets every single month. That means you can control what is in the photo. And the fix is not complicated. It does not require a financial advisor, a spreadsheet with 17 tabs, or a weekend seminar where someone sells you a course at the end. You just need to pay before the camera clicks instead of after. Specifically, you want to pay down your balance 3 to 4 days before the statement closing date. Not when the bill arrives, not on the due date, but before the statement even generates. If you do that, the statement closes showing a tiny balance. That tiny balance is the number the bank ships to Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. And that tiny balance is what determines your utilization for that month. Then, 3 weeks later, when the actual due date arrives, you pay off whatever small amount is left. 2 payments, 0 interest, optimized score. You are essentially photoshopping your financial headshot right before the camera clicks. And unlike actual Photoshop, this one is completely legal and takes about 4 minutes. Here's the step-by-step, so this is actually usable. Step 1. Find your closing date. This sounds obvious, but it is not. Your bank's app is deliberately designed to show you the due date. Big font, bright color, sometimes a countdown. The closing date is buried. Go to the Statements tab, open an actual PDF of a past bill, and look for the phrase Billing Cycle Ends or Statement Closing Date. That is your date. Put it in your calendar as a recurring monthly event. Step 2. Set a reminder 2 days before the closing date, not the day of. Bank-to-bank transfers can take 1 to 2 business days to actually post to your credit card account. If you initiate a payment on the closing date itself, there is a real chance it posts after the statement generates. The 2-day buffer is not optional. It is the whole difference between this working and you wondering why nothing changed. Step 3. On your reminder day, log into your account and look at the current balance. Let's say your card closes on the 15th. Your reminder fires on the 13th. You log in, the balance shows $800. You want the statement to close showing $10. So you manually push a payment of $790 right then. Do not wait for auto pay to handle this. Initiate it yourself. When the 15th arrives and the statement generates, it closes at $10. That $10 flies off to the bureaus. Your utilization on that card just got reported as essentially 0. Which brings up autopay. Autopay is not your friend here, and this is important. Autopay is designed to protect the bank from you being late. It fires on the due date, which is after the statement has already closed, and already reported your balance. By the time autopay saves you from a late fee, the damage to your utilization is already done. You can keep autopay on as a safety net for the remaining small balance after the statement closes, but you cannot let it be your entire strategy. The manual pre-statement payment is what does the actual work. One more thing on timing. Do not cut it close and do not assume same-day posting. If your card closes on a weekend, banks may generate the statement on Friday. Build your reminder around that. Check the last few statements and look at the exact day the cycle ended. Some months, it shifts by a day. When in doubt, go earlier. You are not breaking any rules here. You're not gaming anything in a way the bank can flag. You are simply paying your bill slightly earlier than usual. The fact that it also controls what the bureau sees is just a bonus the bank forgot to mention. Okay, so here is where people overcorrect. You just learned that paying before the statement closes keeps your utilization low. So the logical next move, the thing that feels mathematically perfect, is to pay every single card to 0 before the statement date. Clean slate, blank report, nothing owed anywhere. Sounds ideal. It is not. Consistently reporting a 0 balance across every card can actually score lower than reporting a small balance on one of them. I know that sounds like the system is broken. It is not broken, it is just weird. But once you understand the logic, it clicks immediately. The AZEO algorithm is designed to measure how well you manage debt. If your credit report shows 0 balances month after month, the model has nothing to evaluate. You look like a ghost. You are not demonstrating responsible credit behavior. You are demonstrating that you do not really use credit at all. And in the eyes of the algorithm, someone who does not use credit is actually slightly less predictable than someone who uses it and keeps it microscopic. The algorithm wants evidence. A completely empty report gives it nothing to work with. According to my AZEO data, people who consistently hit 800+ scores do not report 0% utilization. They average somewhere between 4 and 7%. They have a small active balance showing, just enough to prove the credit lines are alive and being managed well. This is where the AZEO method comes in. AZEO stands for all 0 except 1. The idea is simple. If you have multiple credit cards, say 5, you pay 4 of them to 0 before their statement dates. But on one card, the one with the highest limit ideally, you let the statement close with a tiny balance. We are talking $10 to $20, or roughly 1% of the limit. Just enough to register as activity. Just enough to tell the algorithm, Yes, I use credit, and yes, I keep it basically invisible. You are leaving one sock on the floor, so the algorithm knows someone actually lives here. A completely empty house. Looks suspicious. Now, I already know the objection. If you leave a balance, you pay interest. This is where the terminology matters. Reporting a balance is not the same as carrying a balance. Go back to the timeline. The statement closes on the 15th showing $10. That $10 gets reported to the bureaus. Your due date is the 20th of the following month. As long as that $10 is paid by the due date, you owe zero interest. You get the score signal of active credit use and you pay absolutely nothing for it. You are threading the needle between the reporting date and the due date, and the needle is enormous. You have roughly 25 days to pay a $10 balance before any interest applies. This is not risky. This is just understanding how the calendar works. For the 30-plus crowd specifically, if you are 60 to 90 days out from a mortgage application, this is the move. Run AZEO for 2 full consecutive statement cycles before you apply. 2 months of clean, active, minimal utilization signals hitting the bureaus right before the lender pulls your report. The score you get quoted at the closing table is the one that sets your rate for 30 years. That is not a rounding error. That is real money. Before you go full optimization mode, there are 2 ways people accidentally blow this up. The first is credit cycling. Here is what that looks like. You have a $1,000 limit card. You spend $1,000, pay it off mid-month, spend another $1,000, pay it off again, spend another $1,000. You have technically run $3,000 through a $1,000 card in a single billing period. You might think the bank loves you for this. They do not. To the bank's risk department, this pattern looks like fraud. Specifically, it looks like what is called bust-out fraud, where someone runs up as much credit as possible before disappearing. They gave you a $1,000 limit because that is the exposure they agreed to. By cycling, you are forcing them to absorb 3 times that volume. The result is a risk review, a frozen account, or a closure. If you are constantly hitting your limit and needing to pay it down just to keep using the card, the answer is not a payment hack. It is a credit limit increase. Call the issuer, explain you pay in full every month, and ask for more headroom. A $20,000 limit with $2,000 in monthly spending is 10% utilization with zero calendar management required. The second trap is closing old cards. Closing a $10,000 limit card with a zero balance does not clean up your credit profile. It removes $10,000 from your total available credit, which instantly spikes your utilization across every other card. Keep old cards open. Put a small recurring subscription on them, set auto pay for the full balance, and forget about them. They are free utilization ballast, and you should treat them that way. One last thing. Newer FICO models like FICO 10T use 24 months of trended data, not just the current snapshot. If you only clean up your balances right before applying, those models will notice the pattern. The real long game is genuinely keeping utilization low all year, not just in the 90 days before closing. If you want to avoid these headaches altogether, you should stop spending money on these 10 items I share in the next video.